Yo, yeah, I just feel like ranting. This is just another rant video about how I feel. So this is how I feel, right? I just wanted to get up on here. Just wanted to get up here on rant. So this video is how I feel about John Cena and the current heel run, and how I feel about his progression currently. I'm just gonna make a John Cena video just to say, how I feel about him. This is like from my experience watching John Cena, from how I grew up watching him, from all my time, like seeing him, until now progression. With that being said, I guess I can now say this, right? Okay, so, um, right? I guess now I can say, right, the John Cena, the John Cena we see of right now, I feel like, I feel like he can do so much more. And here's what I mean, like the character of John Cena, the character of John Cena, right? The character of John Cena, right? I feel like right, John Cena is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I just want to say that. Like, no matter what you say about him, no matter what you think about him, he has solidified himself as one of the greatest, as the probably the greatest of all time. I say probably the greatest because I don't want to say the goat just yet, because there's so many wrestlers I want to say out of this era who we can say is probably the pro wrestling goat. But John Cena, as far as being one of WWE's greatest wrestlers of all time, probably WWE's greatest wrestler of all time, that is undisputed. The debate of that is undisputed. It's undisputed. John Cena is one of the greatest of all time in WWE. I won't say of pro wrestling at all, because if you watch me, I'm gonna tell you straight to your face, like probably the indie wrestlers that the indie darlings we grew up with are probably 100 million times better pro wrestling wise than John Cena. Now, John Cena being the greatest WWE superstar of all time is absolute. That is undisputed, in my honest opinion. In my honest opinion, I also feel that with Cena, and seeing how he is, and seeing how he interacts with people, I guess I can say John Cena, the human being. I mean, unless you could say I'm not really a fan of him as a human being. I mean, I do have all the respect in the world for him as what he did, and as a person, as a wrestler. Yes, it's just sometimes when I see him, like for example, like in Total Divas, the way how he was carrying himself in that show was absolutely, like, I want to say a tad bit extreme. Just a tad bit extreme. Like, it was very much extreme. Like, the one part I didn't like was when John Cena basically told Nikki how he didn't want to marry her or have kids with her, and he didn't want that. And I was just like, dang. Like, the way how he goes about it, and this is I know this is him as, like, this is like real life John, and how he is, that's just how I get it. That's how he is as a real person. But John Cena, let me be honest, like, when he was doing that, it kind of made me look at him a certain way, like, dang, that's crazy. Like, that's real crazy. Like, I wouldn't think it out of him, I wouldn't think that would be the type of person he was. I honestly thought he couldn't have kids. That's why I honestly thought, nope, he can. He just don't want them. I'm just like, dang. And that's not an attack to him. That's just like how it is. But it's just like what he said. 25 years of raising y'all kids. Why should I pop out some babies? I get it. I get it. John should pop out some kids though. John Cena should pop out some kids though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he looked like he's right. He looked like he should be a father. Like, he should have been a father. That's what I believe. Like, imagine that, the son of John Cena. That would be crazy. But no. I guess I can say I guess I can say, you know, like, my first initial thoughts of John Cena from when I was a child, I guess, like the first time I saw John Cena, it was on SmackDown. Um, it was on SmackDown 2003. That was the first time I really saw John Cena, like ever, because he was Word Life. Because I do remember him. I was like 3 4 years old. It's like 2003 2004, right? Oh, how do you remember you? How you remember? Well, listen, I'm autistic, and when you're an autistic child, you kind of remember everything. Yeah, that's what they don't tell you, but that's another story for a long time. But long story short, you know, me being this young 3 year old, 4 year old autistic, watching wrestling, watching SmackDown, watching Eddie Guerrero. I remember Eddie Guerrero too, like when I was a kid. Like that was crazy. Like I remember shit. I even remember when Eddie Guerrero and John Cena fought. That's how far I can remember shit. Like with this wrestling, I saw it. Like I saw that on TV. If I'm not mistaken, I saw that on TV because Eddie was he was fighting John Cena, and it was me and my sister. We were watching it, and Eddie whooped his ass. And I remember watching it again, and I was like, I saw this shit before, something like that. But like my one of my favorite John Cena fights was probably the street fight he had with Eddie Guerrero. That was one of my that was one of my favorite matches. That's probably my all time favorite John Cena match. I'm not gonna lie, John Cena versus Eddie Guerrero. CM Punk versus Eddie Guerrero is another all time favorite of mine from Ring of Honor. That was another great one. But my whole entire, I guess my whole entire essence with John Cena, you know, uh, I guess I was just like a young kid. When I was younger, I didn't really catch it. I just thought, he was just another white boy appropriating our culture. When I was little, I just thought, why is this white boy rapping? When I was little, I was literally like that. I was like, this white boy can't rap. When I was younger, back in the 2000s, when we could actually get away with saying stuff like that. But yeah, white boy. I mean, he was coming hard with the disses. That was one thing about John Cena that had me, bro. John Cena would really get up on there and he would start dissing niggas. And I was just like, dang, this bro dissing them. And that was like for a while, for a little bit. And then eventually he got stale. Like 2007 rolled around. That's when they started to commercialize him a little bit. They still had a little bit of the thug life, but he was transitioning. Like 06, 07, 06, 07 was definitely like the transitional out of word life. Like that was like, we could say that was when John Cena was John Cena. You understand? Or we say prime John Cena. John Cena that we know. Like 2005 to 2007, like that was like the transitional, that was like that transitional period. And I remember, watching that as a kid, but like, well, not watching it as a kid, but like I remember like watching recaps of John Cena on SmackDown. Like they'll play recaps of John Cena on SmackDown, or they'll show us what happened on Raw, from SmackDown. I'll just be like, damn, Raw is so freaking cool. Back then I'll just be like, yo, Raw is so freaking cool. Like honestly, honestly that 04 to 07 period, to me, to me, to me, 04 to 07 SmackDown and Raw was probably the best. Like that was the best part of the Ruthless Aggression era from 04 to 07 to me. Cause that was the era I grew up on when I was little. That was the era I grew up on when I was a little kid. Like when I was a little kid, that's what I grew up on, bro. Like I remember watching Randy Orton and Edge. I really do. Like when they came, I think they came to SmackDown one time. Yeah, I remember they came to SmackDown one time, and it was so lit because like when I was younger, like I didn't have cable like that, but like I would sometimes get the USA channel and I would just like watch it before I had to go to bed at like 9 o'clock. And I had to go to bed at 9 on the dot, and it was crazy and it sucked. I was just like, why do I have to go to bed at 9? This sucks. Now I just go to sleep whenever I want. But when I was a little kid, it was like that, bro. 9 o'clock, it was bedtime. Sometimes I would stay up past it, to see some Raw. see like the first half hour, and then I couldn't even watch it. That wasn't until like I got like a DVR like in 2008, and that's when I could start watching Monday Night Raw. I would start watching Monday Night Raw. I wouldn't start watching Monday Night Raw really till like 2008, 2009. That's when I really started watching Monday Night Raw, like for real. But I was always watching Friday Night SmackDown. That's why I always was watching Friday Night SmackDown. And from what I can say, and from what I can tell you, like SmackDown was always like the show for me. Like I just thought SmackDown was better than Raw, me personally, because like I actually believed in the team SmackDown versus Raw shit. Because like when they were like doing the SmackDown versus Raw games, I was literally like Team SmackDown. I was like SmackDown kicked all y'all asses, right? I said they got Rey Mysterio, they got Batista, they got fucking Great Khali. They had Eddie. Eddie died at this point. They had Chris Benoit before he passed away. They had Mr. Kennedy, MVP. They had fucking, oh man, they had Booker T. They had the Mexicals. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, it was the fucking time, bro. That was when I was a little kid. That was when I was a little boy. That was when I was a little boy. I was like wasn't even 10 years old. I was watching this shit, bro. I remember getting WWE Classics when I was a kid, bro. And I sat back. I watched everything on WWE Classics. I said, I just want to watch wrestling all damn day. And that's why I did all damn day. I watched wrestling. I wanted to consume it. I was obsessed with it, bro. Now it's time for me to get up on here and say something. Shit. But nah, like, when I was younger, bro, we had the Mexicals. We had we had the Undertaker, man. The Undertaker, SmackDown. Like, during SmackDown, when The Undertaker was there, like, yo, shit. Undertaker was kicking the, yo. This man was undefeated. This man, Marcus Calloway, was undefeated on SmackDown when I was a little kid. That nigga sent fucking chills down my spine, bro. Fucking put fear into my heart. I said no man will ever put fear into my heart when I was young. I said, no, this nigga, The Undertaker. Him, the boogeyman, shit. The boogeyman. That nigga was fucking, yo. He ate the mole off this bitch, Julian face. Oh, he bit the mole off this bitch, Julian face. He bit it off her face. And I said, damn, not even JBL want to fuck with you. Wasn't it JBL who was fucking with her? Because it was Julian and JBL, I think. Or was it Jamie Noel? It was one of them. Julian was a singer. She couldn't sing. It was so terrible. She got that damn mold. That nigga ate that shit off her fucking face. I said, yo, the boogeyman. I'm sorry, I know I'm getting off track, but what does this all have to do with John Cena? I'm sorry, I just wanted to say my part about how when I was younger, SmackDown and all that. But no, John Cena, like, there's not really much to say. I guess I can say about, his heel run now, but like personally, I'm not really into John Cena's heel run. I'm not really into John Cena's heel run. I guess nobody is. Honestly, it's not gonna happen until he makes a switch. Cause one thing I realized with John Cena, if you pay attention to the psyche of John Cena, right? You pay attention to the psyche of John Cena, and I feel like, right? You pay attention to the psyche of John Cena. The one thing that he said was, everything failed. When he first started, everything failed. And I'm like, can he have that realization again in 2025 with this bullshit that he's doing? I get that you want to keep your gimmick, bro, but come on, John. This your last year, bro. You should want to really crash the fuck out, John. John, you should really want to crash out, bro. Like you should really want to crash out, John. Just say forget it, crash out. Crash out. Crash out. But like it sucks because it's like Cena is not trying to give us what we want. And he said it, you're gonna get nothing. And I get it, but then it's like Cena, that's how you really wanna like do it? Like tell me when I'm telling lies. Like tell me when I'm telling lies. That's why I'm not really big on the John Cena like that, you know? I'm not really big on to John Cena like that. I still always will have respect for John Cena and for everything that he's done for the business, of course. But let's be honest, John, like you can put your fucking listen. You can put your 100% emphasis into this story. You can go all the fuck out. You're not doing it for the sake of the fans. You're doing it because this is how you want to go down and how you want to be remembered by, John. You really want to be remembered as the dude who was just Super Cena all the damn time? And this is your last year. Do something different. And it sucks because he just said, because what he's doing is, oh, I'm just going to be Super Cena, just a real heel. And it sucks. It's not going to pick up until literally, it's not going to pick up. It's not going to pick up until literally, it's not going to pick up until literally you change. You make a few changes. You get a new, please get a new moveset. Please get a new moveset. But it's supposed to be his retiring year. And there's so much they could have done. But I guess I'm just a common ass WWE fan. I've been watching this shit literally since I was 2 years old, my nigga. I've been watching this shit since I was literally out my mama's womb, bruh. Only thing I ever know how to do is talk this wrestling shit. Nobody can tell me otherwise, bro. I've been locked in with this shit since I was 2, bro. How is it that an autistic dude like me, who's been locked in with this shit since he was 2, I should have been a wrestler. But nah. I got too many health problems for that, unfortunately. Maybe I couldn't become a wrestler one day. I just need money. But you know what? Hey, it's cool. I like this. I like having a little podcast, and I can say my little wrestling, whatever. But I just wanted to come up on here, talk about like how I feel about what's going on with John Cena, what's going on with like this heel turn. Because honestly, I don't know where they go from this. Like, where they go? Like what we had Logan Paul, John Cena. So what, we have Logan Paul and John Cena go up at it? I don't know. Some bullshit. Long story short, like when you've been watching wrestling for as long as I have, man, when you've been watching wrestling for as long as I have, and you just know what's gonna happen, and you just see what's gonna happen, and you just think, damn, this is what's really gonna happen, and I just know it. Like, it was crazy. Like, I can tell you so many instances. But like, anyway, John Cena, right? John Cena. I don't like the fact that he's not trying to really put his best foot forward. I feel like Cena's not trying to put his best foot forward with this, and he doesn't care about how we feel because we're just cretins at this point. And I'm just like, you know what, bro? Shit, maybe we are just a bunch of cretins. But hey, maybe we are the cretins actually telling you, hey, this is what we want to see, because, unless, we're just going to say it sucks. Oh, it doesn't matter because you're just going to buy into it. You're just all going to fucking buy it and you're just going to shut up and get along for the ride anyway. Yeah, yeah. Until everybody goes to fucking AEW. Once AEW gets their shit together. Oh wait, AEW's not getting their shit together. I don't know, man. Um. Anyway, for anybody who's watching, this is third person perspective podcast. I'm your host, Alish. This shit is AEW man. Like, I mean, look, today I wanted to talk about John Cena and how his heel stuff was. I wanted to talk about a whole lot of other things, but today is just a rant video. It's just like a little rant video, something I would just cook up. I don't know, man. I feel like what should happen is John Cena at this point, like, he should just really drop the belt. I just feel like Cena should really drop the belt. And if he shouldn't drop the belt, then I feel like somebody else needs to drop the belt. Somebody need to drop something. Cause I honestly, y'all, I just like wrestling now. I just feel like honestly, there's so much I can do. There's so much anyone can do. There is so much anyone can do. Like, for real, there is so much anyone can do. And it's like no matter how many times I fucking try to realize, it's like a whole lot. But I don't know, y'all. This is just like a quick little rant video, just to get my thought, just to get my take. Yeah. But yeah, just like, comment, subscribe if you liked what you heard. I just want to get up on here, to a little quick rant about how I feel about the process of WWE and, how they're going with this John Cena stuff and, how what can change. This is like part one. If you want me to do a full analysis, in-depth video of John Cena, like, comment, and share if you want. I'll make a poll. Yeah. Alright, y'all. See y'all in the next one.